Sometimes purpose sneaks up on you. It finds you in the dark of night, whispers in your ear, and makes you turn around and wonder where you are. Other times it smacks you upside the head, spits water in your ear, and leaves you broke and exhausted in a diner in Poughkeepsie. But that's a story for another time. I was looking for a metaphor for what it's like to live without purpose. Right? On the other hand, finding your purpose, so easy. When I discovered my purpose, I felt like I'd spent my whole life wandering around in the dark, and one day, someone turned on the lights. Once your purpose finds you, it's like a tractor beam. It's unapologetic. It won't listen to reason. Try as you might to resist, it knows where you're going. Humans are strange creatures. We lock ourselves in basements and windowless rooms. We chain ourselves to desks for days on end. Our confirmation bias, our tendency to see and hear what we already know to be true, is as strong as well-set cement. Our lives so easily become an obstacle course of forgotten dreams. We lay waste to the precious natural resources of the planet to produce consumer goods designed to distract us from our boredom. And when they leave us feeling empty and cold, we discard them into landfills. Dust to dust. Life on Earth in 2017 is a strange invention indeed. Purpose is what happens when we decide to break the mold, when we decide we're not going to sit there and take it anymore. I'd like to say that my purpose had always been clear, but it wasn't. I found it the same way we all do, trekking through life. In 2015, I traveled to 10 countries, speaking with people from vastly different walks of life. The project started as a work assignment, but what happened in the process was a discovery all my own. Speaking with community leaders and entrepreneurs from so many different cultures and contexts helped me realize that our future is what we make of it. When I finally decided to start my own company, I did it with blind clarity. Not knowing is the only predictable part of taking terrifying risks. One of the first stops on my journey took me to the northern hills of Guatemala. A small community foundation, started in 2005 by my former employer, provided skills training and support to individuals in the local community who wanted to start a business. One woman I spoke with, Alicia Gonzalez, had received support from the foundation to start a bakery. Might sound straightforward enough, but at the time, Alicia only knew how to bake one kind of bread, and she had no idea how to run a business. But the courses that the foundation offered in bread baking and business management inspired her to imagine that she could become a baker. This town doesn't have enough bread, she thought. That's a need I'm going to fill. Alicia and her husband worked for years to save the money they needed, but pretty soon, Alicia was literally cooking with gas. She bought a commercial oven and pretty soon was able to expand her operations from her immediate village to the nearby town of San Jose. When I spoke with Alicia in 2015, she knew how to bake 26 different kinds of bread and pastries, all of which she bakes and sells in both of her stores. I asked Alicia what inspired her to become a baker, and as she gathered herself to answer, tears came to her eyes. Alicia and her husband barely graduated from the 6th grade, and in her lifetime, she never imagined that she would have a future beyond manual labor. By starting a business, she had gained the capacity to change not just her life, but the lives of her children. Her eldest daughter was a senior in high school preparing to attend college the following year, and Alicia was hopeful that her 2 younger children would have the same opportunity. She knew that her family's transformation was only possible because of the support and encouragement that she had received. I left Guatemala, but Alicia's experience stayed with me. So many of us set out to live the lives we think we should. Who defines that should is variable. It can be our teachers, our parents, our community, society at large, our religion. The list of shoulders is long. But when we do what we think we should, we're contorting ourselves into someone else's vision of our life. We're trying so hard to meet someone else's expectations that we lose track of our own. I realized how easy it is for us to succumb to our own weakness, to believe the voice in our head that negates us and puts us down. But Aurelia never let should control her. Once she decided to start a bakery, she never let doubt or improbability stand in the way of her commitment to her newfound purpose. The next stop on my journey took me to Eastern Europe, where I had the chance to interview entrepreneurs from Poland and Romania who had started businesses after the end of the Cold War. As communist regimes imploded, state-run companies were privatized or closed down. To give you a sense of what Eastern Europe was like in 1991, imagine if Walmart, Target, Amazon, and your local supermarket all decided to close their doors on the same day, for good. People had to figure out how to feed themselves and their families. But the folks I spoke with, they didn't cower at the impending change. They weren't afraid of the scarcity. They were excited by it. They saw the free market as a whole new world of opportunity, and they had the chance to become its pioneers. Tibby Abraham was a young electrical engineer when the Berlin Wall fell. He thought that he should focus where he already had skills, so he decided to start an electrical device company. It's easy to joke about the mindlessness of widget making, but Tibby saw a market and he made it. Today, his company exports security devices to 25 countries and is on track to become a $10 million business this year. But Tibby wasn't alone in his efforts. Between 1992 and 1999, the U.S. Agency for International Development deployed business executives from across the United States to volunteer in Eastern Europe, helping small businesses professionalize. John Mellor, a retired Harvard Business School professor, helped Tibby and his team to create a long-term business strategy, which clarified their vision and purpose, a plan Tibby still refers to this day. Of course, Tibby and his colleagues would have started their company regardless of the support that they received from John, but the wise counsel of an experienced executive enabled them to make rapid progress, overcoming the challenges that can confront small businesses in their early years. Their business plan earned them a $50,000 loan, which helped them to achieve six-figure revenue targets the very same year, setting the path for their future growth. Most things are impossible if we try them alone. You may know the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But speed isn't always a meaningful measure of progress, and going together can be tough too. Knowing who to go with can be the hardest part, and we don't always agree on where we should be headed first. Making lasting change requires collaboration, creativity, and patience, and a recognition that the next right answer isn't always obvious. As change makers, strategists, and entrepreneurs, we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, to meet uncertainty with a clarity of conviction and a willingness to seek out support. Faced with an unpredictable future, Tibby embraced the opportunity to learn from someone with a lot more experience. He was proud to have the chance to help Romania enter the global economy of the 21st century. From Romania, I traveled to Cross River State, Nigeria, a province known for its tourism. Back in 2006, former Governor Donald Duke had invested heavily in tourism across the state, particularly in the capital city of Calabar. 10 Nigerian tourism entrepreneurs received grants and technical support as part of Duke's efforts to reinvigorate the local economy. Charles Godfrey was one of those entrepreneurs. Charles had spent his career in hospitality, working his way up from an HR assistant to a banquet clerk, to a banquet manager, to a front desk manager, finally becoming a night shift manager at the Sheraton Lagos, the country's preeminent four-star hotel. He decided to use his experience in luxury hospitality to train young frontline workers. Before he received support, his company wasn't especially well known, but the visibility he received as a result of the trainings that he provided as part of Duke's economic investment program catapulted his company into the national spotlight. Today, Charles's company is recommended across Nigeria, and he trains more than 1,000 hospitality workers each year. Purpose doesn't have to be sexy to be powerful. Charles turned a life spent in hospitality, one of the most challenging industries in the world, into a higher calling. He wanted to help frontline workers provide a premium guest experience. By placing purpose, by placing customer service at the heart of his company, he created a compass to guide its future growth. By bringing a culture of customer service to Nigeria, he was changing his country's culture, one waiter at a time. It takes courage to take center stage, to dedicate yourself to your craft, and to dance with uncertainty. And it can be hard to summon that courage alone. We need collaborators, strategists, writers, designers, product managers, and of course, customers. One way or another, my purpose has always been helping other people find theirs. But after spending the better part of a decade helping other people communicate and execute their visions, I realized I was finally ready to take the leap, to commit to my own. It's not uncommon for a purpose you've been holding at arm's length to jump out at you in a moment of darkness. I had quit my job and spent 3 harrowing months working on a losing political campaign. It was only then that I could sit still long enough to see the inevitable future that had been staring me in the face all along. I suddenly realized that I was on a personal mission to inspire people to get closer to their source material, their creative essence, to find the support they need to make their personal passion a reality. Almost every company starts with a bold, unlikely vision of future possibility. That vision usually comes from a small group of founders with an ambitious aspiration. But a bold, ambitious vision won't protect you from the challenges that can overtake you along the way. Once a company becomes big enough and influential enough, that bold, ambitious vision can fade from view. Shackled to the performance metric of share price, Fortune 500 companies often make horrendous decisions and damaging trade-offs to protect their singular measure of value. They don't care how many people are fired or underemployed in the process or how many metric tons of CO2 they produce, so long as they deliver their expected shareholder return. Without values to guide them, the dedicated pursuit of purpose can very easily become a singular pursuit of profit. An ambitious vision, while awesome and awe-inspiring, is necessary but insufficient to sustain future progress. Cataloging your values along with your vision can help you hone in on your why. When you add your values to your vision, that's where you find your purpose. By placing your values and vision at the heart of your life and work, you start to create that moral compass to help you manifest the change you wish to see in the world. By prioritizing your higher purpose in this way, you can play a pivotal role in reshaping the whole of humanity. So take out a pen or your preferred writing device, it can be your phone, and write down the biggest challenge that you see confronting humanity, the thing that really keeps you up at night. Maybe it's climate change or gender equity, education or health. Perhaps it's treating a specific disease or helping small businesses in your community. You name it. That's the problem you're most passionate about. Now consider how you personally want to make a dent in that wall. Here's a hint. What's the thing people have been telling you you'd be great at your whole life, but you have always insisted on putting your fingers in your ears and saying no? Then consider your eulogy. How do you want to be remembered? For some of you, this may be crystal clear right away. It's okay if it's not. Take the time to think it through. This is how we get closer to the vision of the change we want to be in the world. Then begin to catalog your values. What are the core truths you live by? Is it honesty, curiosity, gumption, voice, compassion, patience, collaboration, courage? There's no one right answer to this question. Each of us have personal values that guide our lives and work. When you write them down and explain what they mean to you, you start to build that moral compass, your purpose. that will guide you on life's long and winding journey. Our world doesn't always look kindly on such brash moral vision. When efficiency, productivity, and share price are king, it can be hard to defy the status quo, and nobody likes going first. But daring to go boldly in a new direction, to accept risks that others might not, to unequivocally reject the fear that holds so many of us back, and to unapologetically commit to our values, to stand up for what we believe in. That's the hard work that really pays off. I think of Aurelia and her fearlessness in the face of improbable odds, or Tibby and his eagerness to receive support from someone more experienced than he was, or Charles and his deep-seated commitment to his values. Vision, imagination, persistence, purpose. That's the reason I'm here. I hope that's the reason you are too. Thank you.